I
Oh,
mean, I did a whole video on platform mediumship.
okay.
Or maybe, you know what?
What did you say in it that
We
you
talk about some of that. Maybe that's what we can do, because that would have been neat to have had you in that conversation.
Oh, okay. Well, just tell me the highlights and then I can add in. Yeah, summarize what you put about platform mediumship and then I'll kind of join in.
Okay, so the initial idea that I had for platform mediumship is to recognize that it's not a reading, right? It's a recognition.
Right.
It's a a connecting point, and it's a group activity, not I'm a cool medium and I got all this cool stuff. And and that the spirit person, the communicator, is actually part of the evidence, because the energy is present for everybody. I mean, that's where I started with that. And that you have to, and that literally, I did 2 years of training, getting no paid for demonstrations.
Mm,
And then when I started doing demonstrations and had some money involved, I always had another medium with me, and that took another 2 years,
mhm.
right? So that it's not like, there's, it's a different beast, I think. And my point was too that not everybody has that talent,
Right.
right? And that the people, and that this gallery thing that we're doing on the internet, even though it's really similar, my feeling is the training I had from the live people transfers really well to the Zoom, but it doesn't always transfer the other way
Okay.
as as well, especially those that only have their training in the Zoom.
Right.
And that the information or the style or the recognition, or I don't know that because of this Zoom world that everyone's been living in, that the recognition of what the mediums are doing is really as well, as good, as up to platform standards as maybe the perception that they're having in the moment is, because you have all these people practicing in these gallery formats that don't have experience, don't have training, maybe
Right.
don't have a talent level, that, and they're all practicing with other people that are in a similar boat, and maybe they're not seeing or recognizing or having a teacher that has enough experience in a live world situation
Right.
to be able to help them transfer that. So it feels like, I don't have the right words here. It almost feels like a dumbing down of what's possible on the platform, with what's coming out, or what people think is really, really awesome. And in reality, yeah, you may be connecting, but are you recognizing that personality? Or are you just recognizing surface stuff that gets you by as being connected? I know that sounds really rough. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Oh, honey, that's not rough. I'm going rough. I'm going right. Whew, jugular. So this is the excuse me. This is the bottom line. Gallery readings on Zoom is not platform demonstration. Bottom line, not it, not it, not it. It is a gallery reading. So if you're asking people to watch your demonstration gallery form, that's what it is. It's a gallery reading on Zoom. Platform demonstration is where you're doing it in a venue and you have a live audience. That's what a platform demonstration is. So when we ask people, do you have platform demonstration experience? That's what we expect. So my advice to my students is this: if you want to go on platform, if that is your feel for it, then you need to start reading live people, not people in a gallery setting in a practice circle, which is very good to do. I mean, it's good to get that experience through circles and gallery form. But when I was coming up, there was no Facebook. So I had no choice but to go knock on my neighbor's door and say, can I read your hairdresser, please? Or can I read your sister? Can I read this? So because that will give you the real experience of the connection and the energetic connection that you're getting with a live person, and understanding that other people's people can come through too. Meaning that if I'm reading Sally in the kitchen and Henry's upstairs, I might be connecting to Henry's mother. So it's understanding that energy and where it's coming from as well. You're not going to get that through Zoom all the time, though that does happen where somebody is in the room during Zoom and you could be connected to them. But for all practical purposes, for a well-rounded development, you need to read live people, even for practice, even if you just give it away.
And in different spaces, because I think you touched on it. The energy of the place fits into the energy of the platform demonstration, right? So wherever you're at, and maybe activities that are going around in there, or the way people interact in that space, all of that figures in, right? That's, you know, and do you have a because I think when we're sitting at home in Zoom, we're real comfortable with that, and we know this. Right.
Right.
And then as soon as you get out of this, well, you have a lot of other stimuli. I don't know what the,
yeah, outside noise, the outside noise.
Yeah. And even, you know, so, you know, to even get to, I know for me, I like to get to a place early if I hadn't been there before, and just get a feel for the place and what it's about and how they work there, and, you know, whatever. You don't have that. That's why I think for me, it transfers better from live to Zoom than the other way around.
Right. No, I think, yeah, you're correct. And you also mentioned earlier about some people are not made for platform.
Yeah. And
that's fine.
Yeah. In fact, and for me, a platform was the furthest thing from my brain. You know, I do not consider myself a platform person, but the place I was trained, or originally in a small spiritualist center, and that was part of the training was, you know, platform. And if, you know, gee, you know, that felt, it worked okay. Sometimes I think I'm better at platform than I am in an individual reading, you know, but so I think it's okay to try them all, but to not think that you can have a talent for it all.
Right.
I am no spirit artist. Forget that. It's not my talent. I know you are. You know, it's like, yes, you cut it out.
Yeah, but I don't do it like some other people do it. That's part of the reading, you know, but yeah.
But you know, we all have our stuff, I think, you know, to find, you know, and explore that, you know, other than trying to, because I don't know that we are all cut out for galleries. I don't know that we all are.
I will tell you, I will be honest. It's funny because I do consider myself a platform medium. Like, I love platform. That's what I like to do.
I do.
Yeah. I mean, when it was first introduced to me, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that, you know, but then like, it took me 2 seconds. I went on stage and went, oh yeah, because I'm like, you know, I'm me, you know, so I'm like, yeah, I like to focus on me there.
Yeah.
I'm not one of these people that will go, okay, I need like a lot of stuff around me, so it distracts. I'm like, no, here I am, right? So I just like that. The only thing I got nervous about is connecting. I didn't get nervous about my presence or anything like that. I just got nervous about connecting to people. But so as soon as that happened, you know, I was off to the races, doing as many dems as I possibly can, and blah, blah, blah. One thing I discovered that I do not like to do is in-person group readings. I can do one-on-one. I could do 3 people. I could do gallery groups. I could do something about in-person group readings. I don't know why. It just doesn't work for me. Or I maybe, you know, here I went on saying I like the attention on me. Maybe there's just too much attention on me that I'm just like, oh. So yeah. So I discovered that's one thing that I really don't like to do.
But you put yourself through all the practice of to see. Yeah. And I don't know that all of us in the training or the exploration are really exploring that to the fullest, you know. And those of us that are just training on this Zoom format, that's not it. It's not it.
No, it's not it. But yeah, you're right though. You need to explore, even if it doesn't work for you, like you said. You know, even if it doesn't work for you, at least explore the option. You need to have your options open, and not even just have your options open. You just need to do it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
and then you just chalk it up and say, okay, well, not doing that doesn't work for me. Maybe I'll do it another time. Maybe I'll revisit that. Don't know.
Right. And
You
keep learning more about yourself. I mean, that's the biggest thing I'm seeing right now is there's a lack of exploration of self and self-healing and self-worth, which you know what, yeah, mediumship can run without that, but I don't I don't know that it's as good. I don't know that bring to the table this recognition of your own expansion while you're working, and then you just stick to whatever mechanics you were taught in whatever class instead of feeling how it is, and being able to feel in our everyday life and how does that feel, and then transfer that to your spirit connection, and be curious. I don't know that we're curious. We just want the whatever happens in the class and whatever we're taught without being curious really about the communicator.
It's funny you mentioned that. I have 2 points here. So, and I hope I remember the 2 points. First of all, I talked about this last night in class, is that we forget about how we connect to spirit. We forget how to, oh yeah, okay, we shift our awareness to the spirit world and there they are, and now we go. So we're concentrating on the information that we're getting, that's our full concentration, the reading, seeing the information, the evidence, which is essential to the reading. But with the one part that I feel is very, very vital, just as important in getting the information, is that connection to spirit and the merging and the blending. We're forgetting to take that 1 minute, like I talked about before with you off camera, about really getting to know that spirit communicator, really feeling the essence and the energy of them. Well, what we do is go, okay, I got somebody. No, you don't. Because what you're doing now is, when you do that, you have just hit the contents of the book. You haven't gone into the chapters. So if you take that 1 minute, and say, excuse me, I'm just going to take 1 minute to connect with your loved ones. And then you can kind of dive into the chapters of the book, because you have allowed yourself to relax the spirit. You've allowed yourself to meet with them in that doorway in your mind and explore that, and you're not doing that if you go, okay, I got to do right name, serial number. And okay, man, 55, heart attack. Oh, he loved Christmas. You had just hit the contents, the table of contents. You're not even near the chapters.
Right. You hit the reporter end, not the, you're right. So, but I would call that part of the evidence. I would call that the evidence, because to have that essence in the mix, that energy of the spirit communicator right there, what better evidence is there of that?
Right. Yeah.
I think that's the most important piece of evidence.
Yeah. And when you sit with them and you meet them in that doorway in your mind, and you get to feel that, you will get more information. But we want to get to it right away because we feel that's mediumship. But mediumship is all about,
it's the personality of that communicator.
Everything. And it's about self-development too, because also that's the other point that I wanted to make. The more experience that you have with something, the more that you'll be able to relate to your spirit communicator and share those experiences. So for instance, if you are, I use this example all the time. Let's say, for example, you have a really hard time with alcohol, okay, an alcohol problem. You haven't really quite dabbled in any type of recovery, but you're reading people, but if you bring yourself into recovery and you have touched that issue and you're on your road to that as well, now you can relate to certain people and certain spirit communicators that maybe share that experience. And that way you can share that experience with them, and you'll be more able to relate that to the person. It all comes down to the more you know, the more evidence that you can bring.
Exactly. And
that makes any sense of what I said.
Yes. And I think what you touched on too is in a recovery or a healing of anything,
Right, healing of anything.
we recognize compassion for ourselves. And
Exactly.
if we have more compassion for ourselves, we can have compassion for all variations of experiences of this, of, you know, of the spirit people, you know, because they live full lives, and some of it was cruddy and some of it was not cruddy, and you have all of it there. And if we
Yeah.
have compassion for our experiences and what we are, you know, then I think it's easier to have compassion for there, and then we're more apt to have that information.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, another example I wanted to bring was, I remember there was up in Jersey, what had happened, there was this boy who was young. He was young. I say he was young, he was like 18, 19, really great medium, like really, really good medium, great evidence, blah, 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 blah. But I remember we were watching him on platform, and somebody turned around and said, I don't know what it is. It's like, it's not quite grabbing me, but it's great evidence, but it's just not. And I said, he's never lost anybody. It's the compassion. They're like, that's it. I said, that's it. He doesn't have that shared experience. He doesn't have that shared empathy because he never lost anybody. He was young. And he told me one time, I don't know what that feels like. I don't know what grieving feels like. So right there and then, that he does not have that experience, which he cannot empathize with because he doesn't have it.
That's a great example.
You know?
Example.
Okay, we talked a lot about that.
We did. So
yeah, very passionate.
If anybody has anything they'd like us to talk about, send a note, a message, comment, something. And thank you for being here.
Thank you.